Hey, welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with the interview series presented by Consequence of Sound at consequenceofsound.net, WFPK, and WFPK.org. I have got the pleasure today to be talking to Beabadoobee and about her very first, full-length album called Fake It Flowers. Hi, it's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
First off, I'm sort of obsessed with this record. It's so good. And I gotta wonder though, it's not your first release, I should say, because you've done a handful of EPs, but does this feel different that it's the full album?
Definitely. I feel like it took some time kind of getting ready to write a full-length album because I was just releasing EPs prior, but I think because of touring, because of life and growing up, I had enough to write about and I had enough to want to write about. And yeah, it's cool, it's fun. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. I mean, no, I guess I'm surprised almost that, like you said, that you had enough to write about because, establishing yourself over the last couple of years, I know that does mean a lot of time on the road, and that you had been releasing songs anyway. It's almost like, where did you find the time to live life to get the inspiration for these songs?
I think it was, a lot happened on tour. I made loads of mistakes and I experienced a lot of things and the time I had, but even like in the evenings when I was alone, like it made like I was pretty messed up on tour because I had so much time to think about things that happened to me in my childhood and how that's affected me as a grown woman. And then at the same time, I was also learning and discovering new things and experiencing new things. So it was pretty overwhelming because I was kind of thrown into this new thing and also had to kind of force myself to grow up as quickly as possible. And obviously from someone who didn't expect any of this to happen, it was 10 times even more overwhelming because I was just like, oh, I want to be a nursery teacher, I'm going to go to university and do my thing. But all of a sudden, like, I got all this attention that I never really thought people, I was not used to people even caring or knowing who I was. And yeah, it was weird. And I think that's what made me write so much.
Yeah. The amount of artists that was supposed to have been teachers, I think there's probably a good book in that somewhere. Like Sting from the Police was supposed to be a teacher. It's that whole thing. That's interesting. So with all of that happening, then you still have started to call these songs your most personal songs. As a songwriter, then what was the challenge there? I mean, was it difficult for you to let yourself go, to find a deeper truth? Was that part of it? Like, hey, you got to go the full distance on this song.
I feel like it was just, I had to. Like I had to write about it or else I was going to go insane. And I think writing music for me is kind of like therapy and it's like getting things off my chest. And at the same time, it's like, my feelings are pretty conflicted with it because I'm writing about things that are super personal about my life. And that means people are going to know so much about me. But then at the same time, I need to do this in order for me to be okay. But I feel like at the end of the day, I always tell myself, if at least one person can relate to a song, that means I've done something right. And I like writing music. I love writing things that are honest and things that is genuine to me. And I feel like it kind of happened without force. It just kind of happened. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting to hear the diversity in the moods that's happening across this record. I'll bring up the song Charlie Brown as maybe I don't know if it's literally the angriest. It's definitely the loudest moment on here and the heaviest moment on here. And I've heard you sort of in another interview, kind of back off about what it's about, and that's fine. But also after seeing you in other interviews wearing a Charlie Brown shirt, I sort of wonder, like what's Charlie Brown mean to you in all of this?
Well, yeah, I guess it's, I'm obsessed with Charlie Brown. I feel like that it was the first introduction to kind of mental health and that it's okay to not be okay. And I have a Charlie Brown strip on my
that's awesome.
arm. Yeah, and me talking about the tattoo and how it's inked up on my arm, I feel like it's, it makes so much more sense if you kind of understand like what I'm trying to say, that it's
Hmm.
it is a really sad song, and it was about the struggles I had as a teenager and about, you know, what I used to do, and yeah, it's, I think it's one of the most personal ones, but I think I kind of tried to hide its sadness with me shouting really loudly.
It's a great moment. It's a very therapeutic moment in the way you kind of paint that. You know, of course, I'm thinking of Lucy with the therapist, you know, booth that she has for a nickel, and Charlie missing the football every single time. And that sort of goes into another song for me. And I talk about, you know, the heavier emotional moments on here, because Diet Red, you know, we start off with a kiss my ass, fuck me right away. Like, do you go into that knowing that it's going to be a kiss off moment?
Yeah, I wanted it to be kind of like, I wanted people to be like, what the fuck, this is a bit, you know, I wanted to make people feel kind of uncomfortable, but I just kind of wanted to say it straight, and it's not actually from my own experience, but it's from experience that I've heard from other people, and I was like, I'm just going to say it straight, because I am not like an amazing lyricist where I'm like using imagery and like all those like big fancy words. If I want to say something, I'm just going to say it like I got kicked out of school, like I'm not that intelligent. Like, I just, yeah, I feel like, and it's quite empowering saying the first verse. I think it's really fun.
Yeah, you know, don't sell yourself short, because your poetry is there, and even on the, you know, the first official, I should say, radio single, you know, with Care, a song again I just cannot get enough of right now. I mean, there is that poetry all the way through that, how you're painting it. I also like how you talk about that song, about having an end of '90s movie vibe to it, and you know, I'm a product of that era right there. So what I did want to wonder is, what movie might you have in mind, a real movie that would have finished?
Like, I'm trying to think, like 10 Things I Hate About You, or it could be like in Freaks and Geeks,
Right.
like one of the episodes, or like, yeah, just like, or like just like a chick flick. But yeah, I feel like I want to say The Craft, but I feel like another song in the album suits that movie more than Hair. But yeah.
You're talking about a few of the greatest soundtracks of all time. I mean, for as much as I, you know, love my '90s movies, like, soundtracks have been, I think, one of the most important things to me. So hearing you sort of talk about your music in that way, I mean, I identify with that. But when you're writing it, I mean, are you seeing that in your head too? Are you like revisiting those, you know, 10 things moments and stuff?
Um, Definitely, like, maybe at the beginning, not really, but when I properly get into it, I'm like, I, I'm very visual, and I kind of see this like music video idea, and like, you know, definitely that is definitely a thing, and it's probably to do with the fact that my boyfriend's like, he directs all my music videos, and he's really into film, and he wants to be a film director, and we both love watching movies, and I feel like it's kind of ingrained in my brain to kind of just have this like massive imagination.
Yeah. I love how it plays out, and again, on the musical side of things too, the way, you know, you build on a song that's as big as Care, as big as Sorry, you know, and Charlie Brown before, but there are these lo-fi moments. Yeah, I know you're a Daniel Johnston fan. Like, what attracts you to that bare minimum style of sound?
I think it's just like you can hear the pure, like the innocence in that, and the kind of, you know, the, what's the word, like, it's almost like untouched and pure, and that's why I love his stuff, because it's so raw, and you can hear his mistakes, you can hear his breathing, and you
Mhm.
can hear like the shittiness of the 4 track, and I really admire that, and you can, like, it, that really shows in his lyricism as well. It's like Kimmy Dawson in the way she writes music, and I wanted to, you know, get a like use a song from the album. How Was Your Day was recorded on 4 track, very Daniel Johnston inspired, but I guess the lyrics were the most honest, and it talks about how I kind of, you know, I've kind of lost myself on tour, and how I was leaving everything from home behind, and I thought, you know, recording it on a really shitty 4 track in my boyfriend's garden would be the most perfect way to do it.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of the "How's your day" versus the "Hi, how are you," but I see maybe even the unintentional connection there. That's really cool. I'll,
I literally just clocked that. Yeah.
and covering "Walking the Cow," by the way. I mean, talk about great deep cuts. I mean, that yeah, you know, some great covers of that through the years, but all props there. I'll wrap up here because, not to get ahead of ourselves as Fake It Flowers finally arrives, but I don't think it's any surprise given your history of output that is it true that you're already working on new stuff? Like in the recording studio?
I've already finished the other thing that's coming out. So yeah, I'm taking a break from kind of like properly writing and focusing on like living in the Fake It Flowers world because I've already written for the next thing after. But yeah.
Wow. Well, I can't wait to hear that. I imagine it's going to be as big sounding as this one. I guess I'm hoping so anyway. So I'm such a fan. B, it's such a pleasure to meet you on here. Thank you so much for doing this. Congratulations on Fake It Flowers.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. We'll see you around.
Okay. Bye.